Well, the last time you saw me on this channel anyway was about 2 weeks ago. I was traveling to the North Cape. It was kind of a big video for me. Since I got back, I've just been getting on with work at the garage. I've got a ZJ I'm working on. I've had a JK in there. I've got some other vehicles in there. I mean, basically that's my sort of normalish job outside of filming content, is working as a mechanic. So at the moment, I just got a lot of work on. It's just that time of year. So sometimes you don't see me. I've also been spending a lot of time with family, camping with my boy, and obviously in that case I don't really film content because there's just too much weird shit on the internet these days with AI and kids and everything. And me and Megan made a decision long ago not to film and photograph our children and put them on the internet. So, you know, I'm not one of these like content whores who feels I need to film every aspect of my life, but like I don't like to leave it too long in between videos. A couple of weeks is usually max for me on this channel because it does have a regular following. I do have Patreons and people who kind of support the channel even in a financial aspect, you know, with Patreon and stuff. So it is a part of what I do, and it's not that I take it super seriously because obviously I'm always making jokes about dildos and stuff, but it's it's just, you know, obviously kind of more of a respect thing from me. But I'm in the workshop at the moment. The Jeep is looking super clean. I got back from the Nordcap, I cleaned it all up. I like to use Pro Nano as like a brushless cleaner. I generally apply it with one of my old penis pumps, you know, just generally because the pressure on that is, you know, I've kind of grown out of it. And then, you know, when the vehicle's really clean, I like to use this stuff, tire shine, not on the tires, but on the Raptor liner, on the leather seats, on the interior, basically anywhere that's black. A bit of a top tip for detailing and a cheap pack. This stuff's super cheap. It's the same stuff in every can. They do tire shine, glass shine, ash shine, gas shine, leather shine, interior shine. They do all sorts of stuff. It's just the same stuff in every can. So just buy tire shine. You just have to spray it on the black stuff, leave it till it goes away, come back with a microfiber towel, just clean the excess off the normal OEM paint. The vehicle will look showroom ready. I don't do that all the time, but every now and then I like to give the vehicle a good clean, especially when I'm going to get into some work, which is what I'm actually got planned in the next video. So I got a whole load of parts just on the table behind the camera. You know, I've got to get some new things sorted for that, like these pulleys that I've managed to take apart and get the original bearings out. I'm going to be putting those back on. They're just way more robust and reliable than the throwaway plastic junk you get these days. Got some new shocks to put on, maybe some Fox shocks and stuff. So going to full service, going to do a pressure test, boost test, oil change, just all the stuff I normally do just to ensure a clean bill of health. And then I'm going to be putting on some bigger tyres. Some 37s are going on this vehicle. And I know what some of you are saying about my front axle and 37s. I think it's going to be okay with the type of stuff I do in the deep snow. Maybe I'll go out and I'll just hear it detonate straight away. Maybe not. But the tyre I actually wanted was a 37 1450 R15 because of the width and the ability for flotation in the deep snow when it's like a meter deep, 3 feet deep and stuff. I'm finding it really hard to get anything in a 14.5 width in a 37 in Europe. They just don't do it. So it's going to have to be a 12.5, which I actually think is a total waste of time, because you will get a slightly bigger footprint from a 37 12.5 than what I've got at the moment with the 35 12.5, but I just think it's going to be marginal and make no difference really. So because of that, I'm probably going to go with a cheaper tyre. I mean, the tyre I've got on there at the moment's performed pretty well since I've siped and grooved it all up, and that's a Cooper STPOR Max on a beadlock, a steel beadlock. But the problem being is that steel beadlock and that tyre combo is 56 kilos in weight, what I've got on here at the moment. And when you add a tyre chain to that, you're looking at an extra 7 to 10 kilos plus on top of that as well. You know, like if you think about it, if I do go up to a 37 and I put an alloy wheel on and keep the weight down, the weight's probably not going to be too dissimilar to what I've got on there at the moment. And with the chain as well, like it'll be under that. So I think I'm probably going to get away with it is what I'm trying to tell you. But I just think that if I push it too hard, as we always do, right? If you push it too hard, you're going to break something, you're going to bend something, right? If you push it too hard, you know, just the way it goes. You don't want to be getting a kink in that tyre But anyway, that trip was probably the best solo trip I've had. The best trip I've had in a long time. I do have another trip planned. I'm going to be taking you guys with me on another filming bit, a little bit like that Nordkapp video. But I wanted to sort of talk about something that I get a lot of on this channel, and you know, I've actually got a folder on my desktop, and it's called Norrage. If you're Norwegian and you're watching this, you know, this is no like, you know, diss or tarring everyone with the same brush, but I get a lot of hate on this channel, and it's predominantly from Norwegians, and I understand why. Okay, I understand why. And for you guys watching overseas in the US or Australia or other parts of Europe, maybe even Germany, overlanding in Norway is like really not liked by Norwegian people. So when they see a vehicle like mine, and especially someone producing content like me, they don't like it. And I understand why. It's because they think, oh, this guy's attracting people in this kind of vehicle to come to Norway and go off-road. Now, I just did a video on the Nordkapp, and obviously in that video I talk all about the laws of like what you can and can't do in Finland, in Sweden, obviously in Norway, and I'm showing the maps. And even when I arrived in Norway, I contacted other Norwegian people that I knew online in the bushcraft, hiking, backpacking, you know, car camping kind of scene, and said, look, I need some help. Point me in the right direction of like how I can stay on the right side of the line here legally in Norway, Finland, etc. Because you know, I don't want to attract the wrong people here. I don't want to be making videos going, hey look, come to Sweden, come to Norway, come to Finland, and just do donuts and throw cans of Red Bull out the window. You know, I'm not that kind of person myself. And if you watch my videos, you'll see me constantly picking up other people's rubbish. But like I say, 90% of the comments that I get, negative comments on this channel specifically, are from complaints anyway, are from Norwegian people. And I fully understand why, and I'll explain. Now, also, before I explain my other channel, hiking, backpacking, canoeing, whatever, I don't get any negative comments from people. And you will understand why in a minute. And it's predominantly based around 4x4 off-road vehicles. You have a law in Sweden, Finland and Norway, and it's called Allemansrätten. It means all man's right. And what it means is that you can go out into the forest on foot, and you can hike, you can make fires, as long as you're only making a fire in a place that there is no fire ban, and you're not on a nature reserve that's restricted in where fires can be. You know, you usually have designated places like these concrete rings that you can make fires in, but you have to be aware of fire bans. But you can camp pretty much anywhere: private land, public land, church land, you know, crown land. You know, you can be in nature and experience it and enjoy it. Where those laws don't apply to is vehicles. Going off-roading and driving around in a vehicle. And your question might be to me, well Mike, how is it you're doing that? I'm not. If you see me driving in the forest, I'm on a skogsväg. Jag är på skogsvägen. Yeah, I'm on the forest roads. And I know many people, and well, it's legal in Sweden to do that. It's not in Norway, actually, or in Finland to a degree. I'll touch on that in a minute. But in Sweden, you can drive on the forest roads, provided the boom isn't down, and provided you're not blocking the forest road, and also provided you're not driving on those forest roads just after the snow is melted in the spring. Because if you go out in a vehicle like mine, or a tractor, or some heavy vehicle like a truck, on those forest roads just after the thaw, after the snow's melted, you'll ruin the forest road. They're going to make you pay for the road, and it can cost tens of thousands of euros, actually. The other thing in Sweden is that you can drive a snowmobile wherever you want. So you've probably seen me just shooting off across a lake with a snowmobile and camping out. You can do that here. People do that all the time. You know, in fact, it's a massive part of Swedish culture to just get on your snowmobile and get out into the wilderness wherever the hell you want to go. And that's the thing about Allemansrätten in Sweden. If you read the law of Allemansrätten specifically for Sweden, it says, with an exception of snowmobiles that can drive anywhere provided there is enough snow and they're not touching bare earth. So the laws in Norway are a little bit different to Sweden, and I think that's probably why a lot of Norwegians probably watch the channel and go, there's some asshole driving off-road on the tractor roads that you're not supposed to be on in Norway, because you're not allowed to be on the forest roads in Norway. Not all of them anyway. You know, I've covered it in that North Cape traveling video. You have Norge Skart and various other applications that you can use, and you can see the roads that are designed for motor traffic. And the thing in Norway, you're only allowed to take a vehicle on the roads that are designed for normal vehicular travel, unless it's your own road, your own private road that you're using to get to your cabin or something around the fjords. I think the problem is Norway sees a massive amount of tourism, and I think a lot of their laws and are abused because of that, like people throwing litter everywhere, people driving camper vans and using that app Park for a Night, which just isn't accurate at all. You could end up outside somebody's house on a private road with Park for a Night. You know, you should be at least 150 meters away. I get it, you know, like you see a vehicle like mine, you see the videos, you think I'm just some dickhead, you know, but I do my very best to stay on the right side of the line, but fully explore and enjoy the countries that I visit and that I live in. You know, and I think that's the best you can do. If you're going to travel in a four-wheel drive, you can't drive everywhere. You know, look in the description of this video. Look at the app, like at the apps you can download on your phone. Do it the right way, because if you don't, in the years to come, and it won't be that long from now, you won't be able to do it at all. If that happens, I'm still going to do it. I'm just not going to film it anymore. But anyway, I've got some stuff coming up. I'm going to take this to work in a minute and get it on the lift. I've just got an inspection to do on it. I just want to say a massive thanks to Justin out there on Patreon. He's actually got me the Iron Rock Off-Road spherical ball bag joint that's going the front down a 30. It's going to fix a lot of problems. Now, my question to those of you who are still awake, who know a bit more about, you know, these sort of like 3-link suspension things than me, like obviously I built that 3-link, and the lowers have just been king. I've got a poly bushing at the back, I've got a Heim, a rough stuff Heim at the front. On the upper link, I've obviously going to have a Heim at the front now with that spherical ball bag joint, and I'm going to have a Heim at the back. Am I going to hear a lot of road noise? And should I rebuild that back Heim to be a poly bushing too? Do you think I should do that? I really need some advice there, because I don't want to get into this for no reason at all. Yeah, so Justin, honestly, like, big thanks, mate. Like, he paid for it, and he sent it with he's not even asked for shipping. I've tried to throw money at him and he won't take it. So yeah, Justin, a really big thanks to you, mate. I'll send you a couple more of those dick pics that you've been like sort of like chiming after, really. Sorry I didn't send you the other ones. It's just, yeah, you know, I just had a cold bath. It wasn't that impressive, mate. It was, you know. So anyway, like, I've got a lot of content to come up for you guys. You know, I'm just kind of in between stuff at the moment and just spending a lot of time with my son and my family and stuff. You know, it's the summer, things slow down a bit, although work actually picks up a lot. I'm in the garage like quite a few days a week at the moment, just working on various projects, so which I'm really enjoying, actually. Like, the weather's awesome right now. It's actually 27 degrees C, so pretty damn good for this part of the world. But anyway, look, I just want to say a huge thanks to all of you out there that follow the channel. I really appreciate your support. You know, and I don't mean financially, I mean just like watching the videos and liking them and all that kind of stuff. You know, big thanks, and you know, hope you enjoy what's to come. And you know, I'll see you really, really soon for another video, because the oil should be here tomorrow, the bearing should be here tomorrow, the bushing should be here in a couple of days. And then it's going to be like a big video getting into this. Then I'm back on the road again for another big trip to film. So should be really cool. So take care of yourselves. See you again really soon.